I think that should do us now. And let me see if I can do here. Yeah, I know there are quite a few people here who are in the pictures. So, welcome to Live with Ria. And I think yes. Okay, there is no echo or anything here in the chat, right? Okay, good. Um, yeah, and I see. What's up, Addie? Okay, yeah, my son come to ask me something during my live stream. So, no worries. Um, yeah, I was on earlier with Ham Radio 2.0, and we kind of talked about a number of topics, the FCC fees, and so I posted a couple videos about fees. If you want to see our discussion about fees, by all means, after you're done with this or tomorrow or something, you could watch Team Replay if you're not, if you haven't. Yeah, so that was on Ham Radio 2.0. Right, and yeah, but tonight we're going to talk HF. I mean, there's a lot going on, but just about the fees. On April 19th, the FCC, if you when you need to renew your license or if you're getting a new license, the FCC is going to charge you $35. If you are getting a GMRS license, the FCC lowered that fee from 70 to 35. I'm probably going to do a new GMRS video because I know people have been a little, they love the information about GMRS. And look, GMRS is a good medium for families to communicate. If people don't necessarily want to take a technical test. And $35 covers a whole family. That's like a steal of a deal, you know? But ham radio is still the king because ham radio has access to all of these things, and we have access to HF, we have access to VHF, we have access to UHF and all that other stuff. And I hope to be enjoying ham radio for a long time, so help me God. So, but all right, tonight we are going to talk about HF and what's been going on HF, and also how you could make the most of your HF operation. If you're new to the channel, we talk about ham radio here, and I am Ria. My call sign's N2RJ, and I'd appreciate that. Like and subscribe. We're past the 10K mark. I want to do a 10K event. I'm trying to figure out what I should get you guys, but we'll see here. Okay, you heard the GMRS test is harder than the ham test. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's probably the same price now. You just got to learn to ham radio. Well, you're in the right place. I teach a lot of basics. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of Midwest in the house. Hello in Sri Lanka. Okay, that's a country I haven't really seen on too much here, but it's very nice to have you here, and I guess it's daytime there. I have a lot of friends in that part of the world, in India, in China, in Asia, and also Oceania, Australia. My friend Hayden, VK7HH, is down there. Good guys. Trying to see if I missed anything here. Yeah, it's always. But thank you, Country Fried Vegan. Country Fried Vegan. What do you fry? Do you fry like taters and maters? Let's see here. Carbon forums. Carbon guess. You want to know something? I think the GMRS license covers. It covers siblings and nieces and nephews. I really have to check that one. So, yeah, GMRS rules, they're pretty lenient. I mean, they're kind of like, in my video I said household, but I should have said family. It's like they said, let's see, family, you and your family members. Yeah. So, but, yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of like that. It's pretty broad. Yeah, you know what? They have a test. It's called, can you read your credit card number? So anyway. All right, so immediate family members are one, the licensee, um, licensee spouse, children, grandchildren, stepchildren, parents, grandparents, step-parents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and in-laws. Okay, it says nothing about um, cousins, but I guess if the adult member of the family has it, and you you go you can do that anyway. All right, so anyway, so yeah, and I'll be showing you tonight some practical demos on my Flex here, which is my usual mode of HF operation. I have Smart SDR for iOS. I'm going to be showing you on my iPad, my beaten up old iPad, which I use as a playback deck, but I also use it for a lot of demonstrative purposes. For those who don't know, I'm not streaming using OBS anymore. OBS is nice, but unfortunately my poor little computer overheats, and and Apple with their and all this supply chain wonderfulness has left me without a computer since January. Okay, the computer works, it's just it works terribly. So anyway, let's see here. My question early in the chat. Mind repeating again, because I kind of. Okay. Audio. Hola. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I can't catch a break. Okay. Go to my buddy stick. Oh my god. Okay. Program audio, yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Perfecto. Audio is back. Yeah, the router, I use a. I'm not. It's just. The router froze and it just went offline. I tried to use a backup cell connection, but apparently the cable's broken for that too. But anyway, let's go back to HF. I'm really sorry, guys. And I know there's a lot of people left. But so we're in an interesting portion of the solar cycle. The last couple of years, and I want to show you guys, and I have to acknowledge the super chats, by the way. I got a $5 super chat for the hamsters, Michael KD8GIJ, and I got Russ A0PX. Thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate you guys. It does help. Yeah. Yeah, so and it derails me a little bit. But anyway, yeah, so we're in an interesting portion of the solar cycle. I want to show you guys some of the the things that have been going on here. It's like I looked at a lot of the space weather predictions, Dr. Scove and all of that stuff, and it's been kind of interesting what she's been doing. She's really a space weather really really amazing person. We've had a couple of CMEs, and if I can just show you this here, okay, and yeah, the sun is getting really active. A canyon of fire just opened up on the sun here. Long duration solar flares, the southern lights, it's just amazing. You get a G1 class. Thank you, Larry. I really appreciate it, Larry. Thank you for the super chat, Larry. And it's just been absolutely bonkers. Just been absolutely bonkers. and I don't know what to say. I was at a school the other day, and it's kind of like, it's been. I really tried to. Um, I really tried to get the kids, some contacts, but the propagation was not cooperating at all. So, you kind of live and die by propagation, right? And thank you, Derek. I really appreciate the super chat there, Derek. So, yeah, that's awesome. Cast to stop casting Office TV. Yeah, okay. So yeah, thank you, Derek. That's really appreciated there. Um, okay. Well, okay. So, Dirk, I'm sorry, I busted your name, Dirk. Probably dyslexia or something. And Larry Zervin. Really appreciated there. Okay. Yeah. So, there's been there's been a lot of these CMEs and such like that, and you'll find that, and they have here, that's near the asteroids. The solar has really been heating up, and we're not talking solar panels, which is something I also talk about a lot too. We're talking about the sun. Wow, T-Ray, T-Ray, thank you very much. I really appreciate you, T-Ray. Um, the 2225 for New Router Fund. Yeah. This is a cheapy one from Micro Center. I'm gonna give it the boot. Um, and yeah, so, but I've been noticing, I mean, generally around this time of year, and I'm going to talk about this next week, that the solar cycle, is really not what's driving propagation on the higher bands. You have the sporadic E season, right, driving propagation on 10 and 6 meters, and probably even 12 meters and 11 meters if you are you know, if you are that kind of operator. I'm not, but you know what? I don't judge. So, I do have a video that says why you can't have CB and ham radio in one radio, but you know what? That only means that the FCC says you can't. Right? So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. So, this brings us down. Wow, Arnold, thank you, Arnold. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So the bottom line here is that things are going to get a lot better, right? And how do you choose your bands to operate? Well, my philosophy, and this has been kind of, this has kind of been my whole philosophy with regard to HF, and it's something I learned from my contest club. And I always tell people, contest clubs, if you really, really want some good, old-fashioned, ham spirit mentoring, join a contest club, okay? Even if you are a casual contest operator that operates 2 hours on the weekend and you submit a score, look for a contest club. If you're in this area, if you're in northern, in New Jersey, in some parts of New York, in Pennsylvania especially, Delaware, and some parts of Maryland, join the Frankfurt Radio Club, okay? That's my club. And we're at gofrc.org. We have no dues, right? We only have a fund drive, kind of like the local volunteer fire department. So they, the contest clubs really teach you. And one of the things they do, thank you, Silver Stacks. Stacks, you're amazing. I'm sorry my comments module is not working because it's kind of, and you know what? Let me see here. Yeah, it's kind of, the comments module is a little bit busted here. Yeah, but, is it? Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Silver Stacks, anyway. So, you'll find that generally what contesters recommend is that you stay on the highest open band that you can maintain a rate. Now, this is contesting, okay? This is where you get on And Christian Kudnick from and Katie and all these people from 100 Watts on a Wire, I'm sure you know that channel and podcast. They are like, yeah, park and bark. Okay, well, I kind of like, that sounds cute, but I call it running, and everybody calls it running. So if you want to make contacts, you go on the highest open band, right? There was in 2011, 10 meters, and I'm telling you, was open to Kingdom Come. I mean, this thing was blasted wide open, okay? And you can get on and run it like 20 meters, but you have all that room from 28.3, which is where the phone band starts, all the way up to 29 megahertz. And man, they had room for everybody to spread out. I used to produce a feature for 100 Watts on a Wire, but I don't do anymore. Andy, we don't have 4 meters here, unfortunately. Glenn Zook, the late Glenn Zook, K9STH, he kind of he petitioned for that, and the FCC turned him down. So yeah, reliable info and stacked in different bands, HF and 2 meter SSB. Well, if you stack them in the same direction, the 2 meter antenna could be like right on top the HF antenna without much interference at all, right? It's only when like you have like HF antennas on similar bands or harmonically related bands that they start to really interact where it matters, right? But of course there will be some interaction. It will be so minor you wouldn't even notice it. Okay. Yeah, 4 meters is primarily a European allocation. So let's look at something else here, right? So by the way, the ARRL has produced a new frequency card, right? That's like an index card size that'll fit below your radio. I have one, it's in my car, but I'll show you. They gave me a pack. If you go to a Hamfest, the ARRL CEO and the field services manager has basically told all these section managers, carry a pack of that and put it on your tables, So if you go to a local Hamfest, ask the section manager at ARRL if they have one of these new little frequency chart cards, because they're really handy, I'm even tempted to go, right? Yeah, the cards are really neat. I really love them. I gave a bunch to school, and I have some for when I go to Hamfest. So ARRL band charts. But first of all, let's start with your privileges, right? I really wish we had 4 meters, it's a nice band experiment with, and let me see here. Okay, so you're looking here at the US amateur bands, right? And during the high period of the solar cycle, you're not going to go to the bottom ones, the 2200 meters, and well, not even those. You're not really, propagation on 160 meters, 160 is probably going to get a little noisy, 80 as well too. 40 meters is going to still be nice, okay? It's not going to be as good as at the bottom of the cycle, but 40 meters is going to be nice. 30 meters is always going to be in between. 20 meters will get a little interesting. Now at the bottom of the cycle, what happened to 20 meters is that it opens, like probably in the morning sometime, and then it'll close early in the afternoon, maybe like 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. local here, and then it'll open back up the next morning, and overnight nothing happens. At the height of the solar cycle, 20 meters is going to be open around the clock, okay? And because it's open around the clock, what happens is that you're going to have propagation, to all sorts of far off places in Asia, places in Oceania. And if you are in Asia, like this, my friend here in Sri Lanka, you're going to have propagation to the United States and Canada and all sorts of fun places, right? I was trying to have my camera not die on me here. I'm trying to plug in something here. Anyway, if it dies, I'll just switch over. But yeah, so 20 meters gets interesting. 17 meters gets interesting. 15 tends to open up a lot longer. Now, 15 is a nice wide band too, because you're getting from 21.2 on phone to 21.45. And of course, if you operate Morse code, CW, you're getting a whole lot of mileage, there too. You get a whole 200 kilohertz of Morse code. Although really, for Morse code and digital operators, we don't use a lot of space. We don't take a lot of space, so no worry. Then you're jumping up to 12. Okay, this is where things get interesting. 12, and 12 is a band if you're chasing DXCC or you just like to work new countries, on different bands. 12 is going to be a real interest band. It's not a terribly big band. It's only like 100 kilohertz wide. But, it has all sorts of interesting possibilities for DX. Then you get into 10. Now, if you are a technician, you are going to want to pay attention, okay? Because you have, Fox News. I used to work there, okay? It was an adventure. They say what they say, and it's just interesting. But I still subscribe to their apps and stuff. It's just, I watch everybody. My politics is very hard to figure out, by the way. So 28.0 to 28.3 CW digital. And also you have 28 to 28.3 to 28.5. Right? That yellow section there is for technicians. And the technicians can operate phone, but they can operate upper sideband only. Not upper sideband, single sideband only. And of course, you have upper sideband being the dominant mode there. Now, even in the lower portions of the solar cycle, you're going to find, especially during contests, that a lot of South American stations are going to come in there. But when the solar cycle ramps up, if you're in the States, you're going to have a lot of propagation to Europe. If you're in Europe, you're going to have a lot of propagation to the States. You're going to have propagation to faraway places like Japan. You're going to have propagation to Australia. I worked a bunch of stations in Australia on 10. I've worked a lot of stations in Japan and such like that. And you know how FT8 is a nice mode where you could get on work DX pretty much with minimal antennas? I think during the height of the solar cycle, people are going to start to realize that, I could have fun on phone and CW too. So yeah. Now 6 meters might show some life as well too, but we're going to talk about 6 meters next week. But, like I said, during this time of the year, you're dealing with the sporadic E season. And, 10 meters does show also some sporadic E propagation. And, hey, Steve C. Oh, you did security at local Fox affiliate. Yeah, I did IT security for the mothership. I protect against hackers. On 10 meters, something else interesting too, right? A lot of repeaters have inputs on 10 meters, and outputs too. So if you look around like 29.6 and up there, 29.5, 29.6 around there, you will find the repeaters there that you could talk on, and it's clear as a bell. Am I coming upstate for Sarah Samara Field Day? Where am I going this year? I might. Excuse me. Where did I go last year? I went to some place in Northern New Jersey. Yeah, I might do Eastern New York this year. Should be interesting. I try to, to move around. I'm my new vice director now, by the way. Nomar, NP4H. Good guy. Yeah, so, but the important thing also to know about novices and technicians, by the way, they're limited to 200 watts. But 200 watts is going to be plenty. My teacher, who taught me about amateur radio, he basically taught me that when the cycle is hot, right, you're going to have a lot of opportunities for propagation with minimal equipment. That means that the POTA people are going to be all abuzz with their possibilities. You know, they're going to be so excited. I could see Kate, MRD, and everybody else just, you know, they're just going to have a ton of fun. So, yeah, you know, it's going to be pretty interesting. Let me see if I can get back my comments module here and my casting. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Um, let's see here. Cast. Okay. Stop casting. Office TV. And okay. Yeah. So okay. Right. Um. Yeah, you can work the world on 50 watts. You know, I was working Japan on 5 watts. Okay. 50 watts. Yeah, you could keep your 50 watts. I was working them on 5. That's always something, you know. Um, that's always something. So, yep, flip game. Oh well. Yeah. Let's see what else here. So that, you know, that's that, guys. And but let me show you some actual the actual meat called the band plans. So these are just our privileges, okay? In the United States, we're segmented by privileges, but I also work on some of this band planning work with the ARRL, and you know, the band plans are voluntary sharing agreements. They're gentlemen's agreements, you know, which is a term that we use for basically to say that how um, you know, the rules are there. You could choose to follow them or not. All right, so here we have all of these, you know, 160 meters. They tell you that center of activities, you know, they have 1.8 to 2 megahertz CW, and then they have digital modes. Um, so this is already out of date because 1.8 to 1.81 is not digital modes only, because most of the digital modes are 1.840, which is the FT8, right? And then 80 meters, we have, you know, RIDI. Now, this one actually, 3.59 RIDI data DX, and then 3.57 to 3.6 RIDI and data. The gentleman's agreement must mean that, no, the gentleman's agreement just means that how it's voluntary. And, you know, some people follow it and some of them don't. 60 meters is an interesting band because you have upper sideband phone only and CW RIDI and data. By the way, you notice that RIDI, RTTY, is classified as a separate mode from data because RIDI is actually classified by the FCC as radio teletype and not data. Okay? So, right, that's that with that. Now let's get back into this. Now 40 meters, 7040 RIDI data, that's for DX. 7080 to 7125 RIDI data. Yeah, and then again, this is not really followed too much with FT8. So we're actually having meetings to kind of like reharmonize some of these band plans with the rest of the world because, you know, sometimes they really need to be adjusted to align with the rest of the world. Right. So let's see here now. I'm gonna try to fire up the radio and see how the bands are, and maybe we could make a few calls here. You know. So remember last week I showed you the controls on the radio, right? And we're kind of in that territory there where let's see here. Hello. Yeah, you know, Latino Filipino. I really hope we could make a QSO because I have many friends in the Philippines. Okay, I really appreciate it. I have who was it? DU. I forgot his call sign, but Lawrence Antanasio. He's actually a representative in your national society, and I sent him some stickers and such like that from ARL because he wanted that, right? he was really interested in what we had, and you know, he's kind of like he was, you know, he was just he was totally enamored by our stuff here. So I sent him some ham stickers and such like that. You know, the ones that said ham www.arl.org or 73. The ones sold by what's it? Not DX Engine, my Quicksilver Radio. So yeah, okay. But I really appreciate that. But yeah, let's fire up this thing here, and let's see here. Let me see what the band conditions are like. Let me plug this in here. Yeah, I don't. You know what? They have the digital contest coming up. I did a video on that, and maybe I'll do a live about that sometime. So let's see here. And I don't want this. I'm gonna turn off this key here. Okay. Yeah. FT8 is kind of like an acquired taste, I think. It's really just it's not something everybody does. But you have to be pretty much a DXer or an awards chaser to really get the full benefit out of it. Otherwise, you know, you're just making contacts. Let me get my phones. Okay. You technically don't really need cat control for FT8. Sometimes you could do it with Vox, right? Yeah, we have a lot of thunderstorm activity here, so it's kind of okay. Let me know how you're hearing this, guys. This is interesting. Let's tune around. Now, in SDR, you can actually see the frequencies and the room here. So on a casual night, I would just like tune around and see who's there. I'm going to increase the rate here.
Well, make it over at the post office, and I need to swing over the dollar.
My last, it still works, maybe two, but they're flying out at 5 amps. I swear to God, 5 amps.
Yeah.
What are they?
Now you have a lot of rag shoes there. 2783. I bet you this is my friend Dave here. He's gone. Now DX window is somewhere in between here.
Any station outside of North America.
So he's calling outside of North America.
November Echo to Quebec. In New York, calling CQDX and standing by.
NE2Q. Tony, yes, I'm a Flex user through and through. You know, I love my Flex radios.
I heard somebody, but the signal was very weak.
Yeah. NE2Q, that call sign sounds familiar. Yeah, I'm remote. So, believe it or not, I'm not home. So, you know, it's kind of like, yeah. And,
hello, CQ. Calling
CQ.
any station outside of North America. This is November Echo to Quebec. In New York, calling CQDX.
So let me just explain something about what he's doing here. Okay? So, it's out of band for you, yeah. So let me explain a few things that we're seeing here, right? The first one is that a lot of the DX activity is going to be in the extra portion of the bands, right? Which is why I did the video on the extra privileges, and why I think that if you are going to be, you know, doing a lot of, we'll get back to the radio in a second. If you are going to be doing a lot of DXing, you definitely want to get that extra, okay? If you're just doing, you know, if you're just doing casual rag chews, right, and such. Remember I showed you guys a frequency chart? Let me show you the frequency chart again, because that'll begin to make sense here. Let me see here. Frequency chart, okay? Yeah. So, you know, it's kind of like, you could do so much with general, right? But at some point you're gonna want to do extra. At the same time, though, you could still have a lot of fun on as a general here. So I'll go back to the chart here, and you look at 80 meters here, right? I use my iPad because iPads, well, this old iPad. So you look here, you see extra goes all the way down to 3600. The advanced, which is a deprecated license class, right? So it's grandfathered in. If you have an extra, you can keep your extra. Famous last words. And then, you know, if you have an advance, you could keep your advance, right? You could keep your novice too, by the way. The novice license is renewable. But, anybody new can't get an advance. And a lot of advanced people hold on to their advance because it's a unique class and it says advanced. So, it looks kind of cool. The generals, unfortunately, get above 3,800. And the problem with that is that above 3,800, it's outside of the international allocation. So they really can't, get to work too much DX. One way you can do that is that you can now operate what they call split, right? So I'm not going to actually do it here, but I'll show you exactly how it's done, right? So let's say you want to operate split. What you could do is you could do on the flex, it's easy. They just have a split button. So what you do is you transmit above within your privileges, and then you receive down outside your privileges, right? And this used to be the way that 40 meters, believe it or not, used to operate, and even 80 meters before they kind of did the whole realignment of the bands, and all the broadcast stations got chased out of the good portion of 40 meters, And so basically, if I were to switch to 40 now, right? Let's see here. Yeah. So all of this from like 7125, I'll show you 7125, right? All of this used to be from 7100 actually all the way up to 7200 used to be full of broadcast stations, okay? And then now, what's that thing? Probably something. Yeah, and then all of these stations, broadcast stations, just to clobber that portion of the band. In 2009, the ITU kind of got all of these stations to get all the way out of the band. So they got pushed up above 7200, and you'll find that, yeah, there is some broadcast station up here, but most of them actually migrated above here. You have you have up here, you have some of these powerful US broadcast stations that are completely outside the ham bands, I believe 7490 is 7490 is Alan Wiener's station, is it? 7505 might be WRMI, but this is WBCQ, I think. And 7490, they have some real wild. I respect everybody's right to free speech, okay? They have some real free speech stuff because Alan Wiener is a staunch believer in free speech. So he hosts a lot of opinions that he even doesn't like. Talk about really weird stuff. Okay, so anyway, so the split would work like this, right? And even during contesting, what you find is that even when the band is crowded, a lot of contesters would then transmit up here because you see a little TX flag, and then they would receive down here. But some of them even go as far as to receive below 7100 because, like 707 or 7080 or something, because a lot of times, the Europeans, they can still transmit there. Even the Canadians can transmit below there. And then what you have happening is that we can't transmit over there, but we could receive anywhere, right? And then we just transmit within our allocations. So, yeah. So, yeah. All right, but let's go and tune and see what's on the bands. I'm going to remove the split here. I'm going to turn on the audio. Right. So all below here now, you find that you have a little Morse code here. And the cool thing about the Smart SDR app, which is, yeah, you're in region 3 allowed up to 7.2. Yep. So actually, 4S6RYD, you can actually hear us, but only when we operate. We can actually operate 7125 to 7200. The extras can operate from that. The generals can operate 7175 to 7200. Of course, you know, you have to leave 3 kilohertz above that because of your transmitted signal must remain within the allocation. So, right. So let me switch this to CW now. Right, and there's a lot of CW signals there now. Yeah. So even like the extras and the advanced, they have privileges, you know, usually the lower 25 kilohertz of the band. And then what happens down here, now you notice when I switch to CW that my bandwidth, right, actually, let's see here, where is it? Yeah, my bandwidth changed to a narrower bandwidth, right? Because you can actually see it here on the flex. And is it DS? Oh, yeah, I pressed CW, right? So it went down to like 400. Usually I listen at 400. Sometimes during contests I go down to 200. It gets narrower. Okay. And then for phone it's a lot wider emission. So, right? There's CW tonight for some reason. Then you have some of these digital here. This is FT4 here. Okay, now FT4 is a wide thing. It's a very short emission. You have FT8 here. Right? The whole thing, this is just a bunch of signals. Okay? Then let's go up here. For historical reasons, actually, as you may know, or you don't know, I mean, those of you who are seasoned will know that, of course, lower sideband is on 7 megahertz and up, and down. That's my friend Dave. Yeah, Wall Street Journal, I used to work there too. And then you have a lot of these stations here. So let's try to call one. Let's see.
Yankee 5, Lima, Romeo, Sierra.
Now, when you become a DXer, you know, you're kind of like, you're very much aware of what the national prefix are, right?
CQDX, this is Yankee 5, Lima, Romeo.
I'm trying to beat him. Let's see, 7150.
Yankee 5.
Yankee Victor, Yankee 5 sounds like.
No, that's Yankee 5. Lima, Romeo, Sierra. Yankee 5 is the prefix.
Okay. Let's see if I can call him.
Yes, it's correct, my friend. From Venezuela, Yankee 5.
From Venezuela, okay.
Romeo, Sierra, QRC.
That's right.
Okay, Leonardo. Yankee 5, Lima, Romeo, Sierra. This is the N4 BR1.
Let me see here. Let me find a clear frequency to tune. Make sure my SWRs is good. Okay. I'm not using an amplifier. Right? You always tune up off frequency. You don't want to tune up on top of people.
Orlando, Florida. The call sign is November 4.
FT8 does sound like Rudolph parting up his nose.
4, Bravo,
FT8 kind of sounds like,
Thank you very much.
to me it sounds like, you know, these kind of like rainbow cats memes, you know? It's just crazy.
Man. All right, you have a good one also. And
let me see if I can call this guy.
Safe week on that side in Venezuela, Yankee 5.
I'm originally from Trinidad, so I knew a lot of people in Venezuela.
Barry,
Yeah, go.
You know one thing about my radio, I kind of adjust
And
it.
sometimes these people get into a lot of rag
certain way
and stuff like that.
I don't have any background noise at all. It seems as if that's what I've done, and
Probably moved. If you want to find DX to work, a lot of these radios now have the DX cluster, which basically is a crowdsourced, DX, where people report various DX on the band, and then voila, you just see them on there. See? X record 3. So, I can't work him because that'll be outside my privileges.
I didn't know that you work.
These guys sound Jamaican. Okay. So as far as band selection goes, generally, you want to use the low bands at night too, right? Because the higher bands tend to be more active in the day. But actually, like I said, if you look at 20 meters now, there is still some activity on 20, believe it or not. Right? I have some nasty electronics there I need to clean up. That's why you're seeing stuff. You hear a lot, you hear some United States stations, even this late hour at night, which is amazing. Let's see if there's a POTA on 7280, okay.
I think it got that 5-5 Austin, Texas. I also had you about 5-5.
The coax switch, so I don't really have a coax switch. I have an antenna tuner with a built-in coax switch, and then I use that to switch. So I got the one. So when Flex Radio released the Power Genius amplifier, I got the 1x3 model, which basically is one input, 3 outputs. That was back in the good old days when I could have
November X-ray 3 Alpha.
Let's see here. 91 people on now. Wow, that's amazing. 89.
into Shenandoah County, Virginia.
Cool.
QSL.
Let me see if I can work this guy.
5-8 up there in Shenandoah. You're 5-9 down here in Pennsylvania. QSL.
Okay, QSL was wondering where you were at. Thank you so much for the contact. 73.
Yeah, Roger. We're just outside of Danville, about 20 minutes north in near Chatham, Virginia. Over.
QSL. Thank you again. 73.
73. And thanks for hunting. Kilo Oscar 4, Hotel Mike Bravo 4, Parks on the Air. QRZ.
November 2, Radio Japan.
Kilo Yankee 4 again.
I'm probably not gonna have to.
India Kilo QSL. Kilo Yankee 4 India Kilo. That's the QSL. I have you a 5-6-56 into the park. QSL. QSL. I have you 5-5 in Alabama. Roger the 5-5 Alpha Lima. Thanks and 7-3.
November 2, Romeo Juliet.
Bravo for Parks on the Air.
I think I doubled with him. November 2, Romeo Juliet.
The calling Juliet again.
November 2, Romeo Juliet.
November 2, Romeo Juliet. Good signal. 5-8 here in Virginia. QSL.
QSL, you're about a 5-9 here in New Jersey, and you're live on YouTube here. Rhea Shack Ham Radio, over.
Hi, Roger. Live on YouTube and 5-9 there in, I think it was New Jersey. Is that a QSL?
Yes, that is New Jersey. November Juliet, over.
Roger. Well, thanks for hunting and streaming there on YouTube and bringing ham radio to the masses. Appreciate what you're doing, and thanks for the contact. 7-3.
All right, you're a little over S9. Thank you. 73. Yeah, I got him there. That's nice. Cool. And then let me let's see. I have a logbook here.
QSL. QSL, you're 5x8 into Howell, Michigan. I'm in my vehicle sitting in my
Let me see.
driveway.
Look at my log. Oops.
Roger, kind of took a fade on me.
Now
there.
the thing about
It's,
the log is that
here.
I'll shut off the audio. Generally, you put the call and you put the so he gave me a 5.5, I believe it was.
Roger, QSL at 73. Thanks for hunting. Thank you, good luck. Kilo Oscar 4, Hotel Mike Bravo for Parks on the Air. QRZ.
Hotel Mike Bravo.
Charlie 8
Okay.
Tango Papa Foxtrot.
And I save. Now the way I have this on the iPad actually really doesn't like feed to my main log, but sometimes I will feed my log to you know, straight into and then propagate everything. But this is on the iPad, just drops in iCloud Drive, and you know, then I could manually put that in my log. Let me see, tune around the band, see what else is there. So, you know, believe it or not, when I'm doing this with school kids, sometimes they don't, you know, they have a lot of mic fright and you have to coach them, you know. Generally, you don't really have to say anything to make a contact. You just say, you know, you just say your call and you give the basic signal report exchange and, you know, any other little thing, you know. But when you have a pileup going, you know, you want to keep them kind of, you know, you want to respect their time too, you know. They might want to, they're not in the mood to rag chew. And these guys are talking Spanish, but they're probably in their own, they probably don't want people to keep butting. Around this part of the band too, you have a lot of nets. So nets are, if you're unfamiliar with nets, nets are basically just like a round table, you know, where people take turns and you have one station directing traffic. Let me see if I can go call CQ. I'm going to end the stream soon, but I just want to see if I can get a couple in there. Let me go down to 80. Let me go down to 3785 kilohertz. Okay. And let me increase the rate here. Do that. Okay. Right. So let's see what we could do here. Okay. I always like to see my visibility. I have the compression also turned on, so I should turn it down a little bit. And iPad here. Okay. So let's see now. And then generally you call if the U.S. to Australia. Which part of U.S.? Probably California though. Is this free? Oh, nope. I'm still doing split. So I gotta get rid of that split. I'll delete that. 3758. Okay, kilohertz. Make sure I set to the lower sideband. Everything's set up here. And N2RJ testing. Okay, everything seems to be okay. Okay. Is this frequency in use? N2RJ, November 2, Romeo Juliet. Nothing heard. CQ 80 meters. This is N2RJ, November 2, Romeo Juliet. N2RJ, November 2, Radio Juliet. Calling and bye. Yeah, I'm going to end soon. I just want to see if I can make one contact with the CQ. I usually call 3 CQs and then I go again. Hello CQ, CQ, CQ. Hello CQ, hello CQ, hello CQ. This is N2RJ, November 2, Romeo Juliet. November 2, Romeo Juliet. Calling and bye.
Kilo Delta 2, Victor Romeo India.
All right, Kilo Delta 2, Romeo Victor India. Very good evening to you here. I'm actually doing a live here on YouTube. And I'll give you your signal report on the next over. My name is Ria, Romeo India Alpha, and I am located in the state of New Jersey. Kilo Delta 2, Romeo Victor India. I'm N2, RJ, over.
Correction. Kilo Delta 2, Victor Romeo India, QSL.
Dyslexia. All right, I'm sorry I totally busted your call very dyslexically. Okay. Kilo Delta 2, Victor Romeo India, is that correct?
Roger, Roger, that's correct. It's Matthew here. I'm here in Livingston, New Jersey, and, running 100 watts on the new FTDX10, but I got you at 5.9 here, 5.9, yeah, over.
Yeah, you're just about the 9 mark here too. Actually, I'm actually located the radio's located in Sussex County, New Jersey, in Wantage Township, about nearby High Point there. So your signal is about a 5.9. You're very good to understand here. I'm running 100 watts with the Flex 6700 into right now it's an omnidirectional vertical, over.
Yeah, I'm actually watching your live stream, Ria. I was watching your live stream talking about the Fcc fees when they mentioned you were going to be on this live stream, and just as I jumped on, I saw you heading over to this frequency, so I figured I'd jump on and say hello. Over.
Okay, well, thanks for being a contact, That's nice. So thanks for watching the lives. It's really appreciated. Yeah, I just thought I would do one about HF and make some HF contacts and such like that. So very nice to see you there. KD2VRI and 2RJ.
Yeah, 2RJ, this is KD2VRI. I appreciate the contact, and 73.
73. Okay, thanks. Let me make one more and see here. Anybody else? QRZ says N2RJ. I'm hearing somebody very faintly. November 2, Romeo Juliet. CQ. This is N2RJ. November 2, Romeo Juliet. QRZ. Now, this person, if they're tuning up on the frequency, they're not supposed to do that, but I'm just going to wait on them. And by the way, I will be at Dayton Hamvention. I'll see if we could meet up, All right, CQ, this is N2RJ, November 2, Romeo Juliet. QRZ. These guys tuned up for nothing. Oh well. I think I'll shut it off now. I don't get these guys. They're tuning up on the frequency, all sorts of things. I mean, I could totally move and get out their way, but I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, look, I really hope you enjoyed tonight's stream. Next week, we're definitely going to be doing 6 meters, and I'm going to be talking especially about the state of 6 meters in terms of FT8 and why you should probably try to do some other modes besides FT8, even though FT8 is an awesome mode to do. And you know what? I like FT8. Joe Taylor, he's a good guy. I really, I enjoy, listening to some of his talks, and we're good friends. So it's always good to meet people like that. Actually, we operated at the UN, 4U1 UN for that. Okay, so let me see here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Next time, I'm probably going to try to do some lives just with operating alone. No, no live with Ria tutorial kind of stuff. I always try to help people to learn though, because I really do like the learning stuff. But sometimes it's not always that. Let's see here now. Clip. Okay. Right. So this whole thing is like a chroma key here. Green screen except it's black. You know, what a world. um, yeah. So, you know what it is? I'm going with ARRL, so I'm going to be working, so to speak. I'll be working with ARRL. But you know what? Yeah, and it's kind of like the important thing really when I go to these events with ARRL is we have the donor reception, so I meet up with the donors, and find out how they're doing. And you know what? I meet up with members, regular members who are not necessarily big time donors. I don't really, um, reserve time just for people, but although I do pay attention and I do thank the donors for supporting the league. I still, you know, I appreciate what they do, but I also appreciate every member, and I appreciate every radio amateurs, even those who are not yet members of ARRL. All right, so, right, yeah, it is. Believe it or not, yeah, I'm gonna eat something and then head to bed. Guys, thank you very much. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what happened. I used this little TP Link router. I guess I decided to phone home, and ET wasn't there. Maybe his finger wasn't glowing enough. I saw that in the movie theater. Oh, I'm giving away my age now. But it was something else. Peace and 73s, everybody. I appreciate you. And let me see if I could bring the bumper music. I will be at Dayton. Huntsville, I'm trying to be there. Okay, although that one is me personally. It's not going to be ARRL. All right. Even though I'll still hang out with them, I'm not going there specifically for ARRL. 73, everybody. Bye bye. Have a great week ahead.